if you want to. So welcome everybody. I will be substituting Ayush today, and I'll try to moderate the call. So I'll start with some updates on 0.14. At the moment, the version is still on integration. We're currently running stress tests on it. And we have some estimated dates of upgrades. So we currently plan to upgrade testnet on the 23rd of June and mainnet on the 28th of July. I guess most of you are aware of that since I posted it in a couple of Slack channels. So the main thing that's relevant here is, at least for this forum, is RPC 0.9. There's still only a PR about that. There is still no RC0. I really hope to publish it ASAP, possibly today or very early next week. The reason for that is that we're trying to at least internally converge on a API for the feeder, and this has some consequences on the RPC as well. So yeah, hopefully we can converge very quickly on this, and I'll share an RC. I think for 0.14, this is the main update. External partners are switching to RPC 0.8 and sending V3 transactions. This is a big effort in the ecosystem, but it seems to be on track. I think this is it for the version. If there are any questions, happy to take them. Cool. I'll pass to Nathan, who has some updates relative to staking V2. So to you, Nathan.
Yes, thank you. And apologies for several times being invited and wasn't able to come. I don't know if it's the prior moderator or whatever. So from our updates, date is still the same. It's the launch is planned to June 17th. That's a Tuesday. That's not the next Tuesday, but one after that. So less than 2 weeks from now. The attestation contract is already deployed. I share the address both in the join channel and also the Telegram channels. And basically, I wanted to convey to you the schedule, how I envision it, and making sure this flow makes sense. So what we are expecting the validators to do is to start running. It's something I already wrote in the joint channel, but I think also saying it out loud and making sure everything is clear to everyone is good. We want to make sure that validators would run the attestation package prior to the upgrade, meaning on the first epoch, they'll be ready. I don't want to coordinate 100 validators and saying, hey, start on this immediate second. I want them to start prior to that. So either Tuesday morning, Monday night, I don't really care. I just wanted to start earlier. So at the current state, if a validator wants to run the attestation package, as far as I understood, they would experience an error, but a repeated error every 5 seconds until the contracts are upgraded. Is that the case, or the tool would just stop working completely?
That should be the case for our package.
Mm-hmm.
For ours too. Yeah.
Great. Would these be reverted transactions or just failed to get a read for something?
Yep, for the Pathfinder package, it's just a read failure.
Okay.
So we are effectively trying to fetch all the relevant details from the staking contract for the particular staker, and that call just fails.
Yes. Okay. So that's not congestion. That's good. Same, Rodrigo.
Yeah, the same for us. Yeah.
Oh, it makes sense. And also I saw, Christian, that you updated your version, but basically it was just a, I would say, quality of life feature, putting the attestation address built in, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. It wasn't something, I want to make sure I don't need to tell everyone you have to update to something. I just need to
No,
tell.
there was absolutely no changes in logic or anything like that. So apart from that quality of life improvement that you don't have to hand specify the attestation contract address on mainnet, the older version should just work equally fine.
Amazing. Okay, so that's that. Let me see, I'm not missing anything. Yes, lastly, the contract parameters on testnet and mainnet are not exactly the same. They're not order of magnitude different, but not exactly the same. Does this fact make you want to test different configurations? Would you want me to change the testnet ones? Do you want to take it offline? Or if it's just an epoch changes from 20 minutes to an hour, just making it longer is not scary at all. That's what actually is the change. Yeah, it's just making the epoch instead of 20 minutes around an hour. That's the change.
Yeah, I don't think that should change the underlying logic or anything like that. So it should be fine.
You query every time you query the contract, basically. You don't assume any hard-coded configuration.
Oh yes, there are no hard-coded configuration values except for the addresses and so on. So it's
okay, sounds great. We would also run the packages just to be able to test them, and if there's for any reason some problem, we see low liveness at the first epochs, we would have a set of running validators just to check if it's something with the package, if it's something with the network and the package. So this is also to tell you that we'll be engaged also in that. So hopefully it will all be smooth and we'll continue just async from now. All right. Thank you.
Cool. Thanks, Nathan. Any questions on that? If not, then let's go forward with the updates from the teams. Who wants to go? Rodrigo. Yeah.
I can. Yeah. Give me a second.
Sure.
Yeah. So on our side, I think there are no major updates right now. We are continue developing Tendermint, continue developing our new database. We plan for Tendermint to be in a testable state around the end of June, so we can have July for testing and with other implementations. More or less the same thing we have mentioned earlier. Regarding Starknet All 14, we were using like one tag from the Blockifier because when we did the release candidate, it was not out yet. So now we're going to update with a release candidate, deploy it, make sure everything is working, and make a pre-release with supports all 14. And yeah, I think that's on our side right now.
Nice, thanks. Trantorian or JB, do you want to go?
Yep, I'll join. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Sorry, the microphone quality might be a bit worse this time. On our end, there's been continued progress in 0.8.1 integration of the missing WebSocket methods. This is progressing nicely and should be done hopefully sometime next week. In regards to Blockifier updates, we are currently merging the latest Cairo native features into Madara, and are also working on a Blockifier 0.15 PR at the moment, so we're tightly moving forwards with that. And that's about the status update right now. So yeah, Blockifier, RPCs moving forwards.
Right. Christine?
For Pathfinder, it's fairly similar. So we have released the next beta version, the upcoming version of Blockifier with support for Starknet 14, including the new Blockifier and compiler upgrades. It is obviously still missing JSON RPC 09 support, but we started planning for that. So as soon as the feeder gateway API and the JSON RPC spec is finalized, we plan on adding support for the new transaction statuses and release the next pre-release version. We are also still working on some fine-tuning for pruned mode of operation, where we don't keep the full history, but only a configurable part of the history is kept within our database. And the consensus work is still going on for us, though Abel is on vacation this week, so we are still working on integrating Malachite, and work is still undergoing on proposal validation. That is our progress so far.
Thanks. I don't think I have any questions. So let's go forward with the agenda. We have Adi from Informal to give us some updates on Malachite and interop tests.
Yep. From our side, we consider the interop tests finished. We were able to debug the slow block production issue. We were able to debug also the, not debug, but add support for non-empty blocks in the interop tests. And we fixed anything that was kind of obvious, or all the bugs that we found with these tests. We considered out of scope the following two tests: the rotating validator set and the equivocation, because these don't seem relevant, or at least not for the very foreseeable future for production. So we didn't really scope it in. We can get to it in a month or two when they may be more relevant, but we're trying to be as focused as possible. I think that's on the interop test side. The other bigger update was with the protofiles and the protocol for guaranteeing liveness of block production. There were multiple kind of back and forth review and conversations around the protocol, and I think Matan was convinced that it's fine, or he's fine with the current version. I don't think the protofiles are finalized, so until those are finalized, we're not going to test. And when the protofiles are finalized, we can do just one more sanity check that we didn't introduce any bugs in liveness protocols, and that will be the end of interop testing. And then we're going to also merge the PR on Malachite side. There was, I think, in our last update, I also gave some context on testing regimen for Malachite. The brief update there today is that we're proceeding internally with two different approaches to the frameworks or to the infrastructure for doing large-scale testing. One of them that has a steeper learning curve, and we don't know if we're going to stick to it on the long term, but it seems like it's more flexible. It's kurtosis-based infrastructure management, and the other one that is simpler, and our engineers had expertise with this, and that's what we're currently using for testing. It's just Terraform with some Docker and deploying it on DigitalOcean. So we are looking to see if this can be kind of upgraded or made more flexible or made more ergonomic in whatever way with kurtosis. But in principle, we're exploring both options, and we're doing tests with both of this with Malachite-based sequencer at the moment, and two more applications. Yeah, and once the Juno sequencer is ready, once the liveness protocols are finished implementing, and we get the green light to do large-scale testing, we'd be happy to to reuse this tooling that we have built internally. So that's it for me.
Thanks. I just have a question I forgot to ask you when we talked before about the slow block issue. Like, what was the reason in the end?
There was at least one rather naive problem, which was there was a sleep in the Starknet sequencer, and we just needed to kind of go log by log line and eventually figure out kind of what are the two log lines that are successively taking time, and then we found those two log lines, and then we looked at the code. It was just asleep in the sequencer. So when the Starknet sequencer was not proposing, it was for whatever reason it was sleeping. I think it potentially to simulate execution or to simulate some signature verification or some extension. But it was rather simple.
Okay. Cool, thanks. Any questions to Adi? Okay. I don't have anything else on the plate. Does anybody want to raise questions, issues, want to talk about something? Please do so. If not, then let's call it a day. Thank you very much, everybody, and see you in 2 weeks.
Cheers.
Bye.